Okay. Patrick, what are you seeing on the screen?
Your home screen, Mr. Dung, with the help logo.
Okay, the two help logos, right?
Yes.
Okay.
My name is Baka. I'm a farmer. And as you can see in the background, we have a lot of farming activities that take place on this farm. It's a kind of a mixed farm with crops.
Patrick,
and
what are you seeing on the screen?
We have coffee. We have
the video is playing, Mr. Dung. Your home screen, Mr. Dung, with the
chicken,
help
we
logo.
have goats, we have cows, we have macadamia nuts, we have everything that you can think of. People have looked at me as a rebel. I think people think I'm a rebel because me, I always want to do what other people have not done. When we started keeping ducks, someone came here and said, "Oh, who's going to buy these ducks?" I said, "No, we're going to buy them. The people will buy them." No, but these ducks, they can't. I said, "No, we're going to buy them." So we did, and people started coming. Chinese came and said, "Oh, we want to take them." I said, "How many do you want?" "You want 1,000?" I said, "Okay, you bring me 100 million and take them." I go them for about 4 months and get my 100 million shillings. That's what we're doing. One of the reputable organizations that deals in coffee here came here and said, I consulted them. I said, I want to grow coffee. They said, "No, you can't grow coffee. This is a lying area. You can't." I said, "I'm going to grow it." They said, "No, you can't." They left. When they left, I went and looked at the terrain. I said, "Okay." They are saying that this place is low-lying ground. It has a lot of water. What if I made mounds and put coffee on the mounds? I did it. And 6 months when they came and looked at my coffee, I just went away in shame and said, "You didn't know that." And you go and look at my coffee. I worked at the CNN Center for 47 years. I noticed that when you arrive, the first thing they ask you, they're not going to ask you for your university degrees or whatever. They just ask you, they say, "Which project have you ever done?" Then you tell them. Then they look at you and they say that. Then later they can ask you, "What is your education background?" You can say, "But that doesn't matter." If you come there and say, "I've got a PhD, I'm coming to work at the CNN," they say, No. Why did you go and teach? Because our children need people like you to teach them. So don't. So our mind said we are really set in two different things, and as long as we don't have mindset change, we are in trouble. If a child is coming for the farm camp, he should be able to put on his gumboots or her gumboots and go and pick coffee for a day, and that's how you understand. Then the other thing is that get the phones out of his hands, throw them there. I don't own a smartphone. I own a small phone, which is this. That's my phone. And I don't, and I'm not on WhatsApp. So not that I am stopping people not go on WhatsApp.
To the habit of agribusiness and start practicing wild alley. But many skeptics think that that's not the right thing to do. What is your view on this?
That people
shouldn't start at an early age to get involved in this. They should come to this after university and then they start out.
There is. I grew up in the village. My father was a village farmer. He lived in the rural area. And my duty was to wake up in the morning, go dig before I go to class. You dig, you look after goats and you look after cows. To the rest of the world, especially the developed people, they think that this is child abuse, child labor. They call it child labor. But a child is supposed to learn. So if you come to my farm and you think you are not going to, because if you come here, you must immerse yourself in the activities of this farm. So Mr. Dung, if you are planning to bring children, I would rather they come and spend time and those who think they are going to be, people are putting children into labor, child labor. No, that's not it. The child wants to learn. You should come and see how coffee is planted. You should come and spend time looking after the goats. You should come and see chickens, feed it, see how the ducks, what they eat. And that's it. It's my background that shaped me into what I am. I'll give you one example. I'm growing sweet bananas in this. In 1943, when my father started life with my mother, when he married my mother, my father told me he planted these, the sweet bananas. And from the time I started understanding, getting some knowledge to see, like I saw these growing in our banana plantation. And this was just next to our kitchen. And it would grow, and I grew up looking at it, and it continued living until when finished school, came back. This thing still is there. So I just finally said. Then I heard people talk about, what do you call it? Banana weed. Banana weed is killing sweet bananas. I said, but is this thing, why would people pick this thing? It has never suffered from, so I picked it and brought it here. And I planted about 2 acres. And it has never been attacked by banana weed. So our scientists need to do a lot more research. It's not into the labs, but get onto the ground and see it from the ground. The labs we respect them. They can isolate insects, they can isolate maybe creatures, they can virus, but there are things that you have to do on the ground. I brought gonja from my village and growing here. It has never been attacked by it.
We are seeing some chalets coming up, and I'm hoping that there will be residential areas here, and we are coming from the school setting where we want the students and teachers to live on a farm but learn the activities here. Are you open to this sort of interaction with schools and teachers? And you must have looked through our education system. Is there anything that is not right that you would love the public to take note of, and how can you support that?
You see, when we go to school, we learn a lot of things. We get exposed to understanding the theories of so many aspects of life. It's not until you get on the ground and say become a peasant farmer or a serious farmer that you actually understand that a small percentage of what you learn at school can only be applicable on the farm. But the rest that you eventually get to understand on the farm is through what you are doing. Most of the things that we do here were things that were vehemently opposed, vehemently rubbished by the agricultural bureaucrats who said, okay, this is a low-lying area, you can't grow coffee. I told them I'm going to do coffee, and I did. They said, oh, there is water here, you cannot do anything. So we said, no, that's it. So, at the risk of being considered an education rubbisher, I think education is good, but you only get the reality of life when you get on the ground. See that? So, the accommodation facilities that you see at the chalets are meant to let people get out of the city, shade of your city life, and come and look at the farm and live and see. If you've never seen a goat grow up, if you've never seen coffee, you should be able to have an opportunity to come and say, well, this is how coffee grows. Most of our people have never seen a coffee tree. They think that maybe Bonja looks like any other banana plantation, a banana tree. They think sweet bananas is different.
Mindset change, I like defiance. We are indeed going for defiance in education system, and that's why the farm camp is here. But I also know that we are dealing with the youth, and as a media expert, we know that the youth are following our celebrities within the media team. What should we be doing with the celebrities so that they portray this sort of development that we want, other than what is happening now?
You see, there is what you would call technological advancement. It's a very good thing, but can also destroy mankind. Technological advancement. Today, the Google founder found Google and said, put all the data and information in Google. When you fall ill, just say, oh, I'm feeling headache. Then someone tells you, go and Google it and make yourself. So you kind of render the doctor a little bit useless because you've Googled it. Today when you are a musician, in the past you'd pick up your guitar, play guitar and whatever, but the guitar case says, okay, you can go on computer, play something, and you play for your music, and you actually listen to it. So they say, oh, I can sing. Just press a button and then you sing. Whatever you sing may not really rhyme to the actual basics of, the fundamentals of the music industry. You don't even know notes, you don't know anything. And then before you know it, you say you are a celebrity and you become a celebrity and people listen to you. But there is also what kind of celebrity? Celebrity is somebody who is well known. You can be a musician, you can be whatever, a singer, you can be a television personality, you can be anything, you can be a teacher. But now, every youth who sees a chameleon, or I don't know musicians in Uganda, I only know chameleon, but they still don't know. You see a chameleon, you say, oh, I can be like him. So you abandon everything, and then you want to follow chameleon's lifestyle. You don't know how you go to whatever, because you see him wearing sagging pants, say you want to wear them. That kind of following is not good. But how can we exploit it to be able to help our youth? But actually, so let's work with this man who the people are following. Bring him and say, let's interest him into farming. By way of, we can use intricate means and bring him and interest him into farming. So that if the youth who has been following him blindly looks at this man and says, but if chameleon can look after chickens, I think I can also do that. That's another thing of mindset change. If we can mindset change ourselves through that, the youth, we can exploit their popularity and bring the youth to say that after much as if they can, you can look at them digging, then you can also dig. If you look at them welding a metal, if you can look at them doing a carpentry thing, that's what we think of how we can interact.
Well, we can talk about inspiration of the youth, inspiration of the teachers, but we know that policy is very important to drive change within the education system and within the development sectors in our country. What message do you give to the leaders, policy makers in this country as far as agribusiness value chain is concerned?
The problem with policy is that it is marred into by politics. So, but the people who end up doing policies are either politicians who have no idea about what is on the ground. So I would rather that the people who are into policy, people in the government, people who formulate policies, should be able to incorporate the people who are on the ground so that they are part of the policy. Otherwise, somebody is going to sit there and say, you know, if you do this, because you have read it in the books, and then you end up transferring it to the whatever, but you've never practiced it. So we would rather that the policy makers should involve much more people who are on the ground. Like, for example, a teacher. The teacher knows what is supposed to, how a child is supposed to be taught. But if you are going to bring somebody who is a politician, who has been made the commissioner of schools by virtue of because he has got votes in whatever, then that's a problem.
Okay, I know that it is very important to involve the policymakers and probably get them to experience it on the farm. Recently, I was talking to one of such policymakers, and she said, you need to organize a farm camp for us in Kenya, in South Africa, whatever. I don't think, well, that would work. So would you go for that, or do you think we should do it within our own communities?
I think the farm camp is not supposed, shouldn't be just bring students to walk around for a day and go out. Task them to do tasks if they have to be very effective. A child who is from town who is spoiled, because there's the ducks, and that's it. Before you know it, it goes on the phone looking at WhatsApp, and then because the parents say, oh, my child must have a smartphone because he has to listen to his WhatsApp thing, so he has a WhatsApp phone. And before he is not gained anything from the farm camp. The farm camp should be involving, should be participatory, where you have people participate. If a child is coming for the farm camp, he should be able to put on his gumboots or her gumboots and go and pick coffee for a day, and that's how you understand. Then the other thing is that get the phones out of his hands throw them there. I don't own a smartphone. I own a small phone, which is this. That's my phone. And I don't, and I'm not on WhatsApp. So not that I am telling people not to go on WhatsApp, but it wastes a lot of time. And that's the curse that has happened to Africa. One thing that I always refer to, the late Robert Mugabe, I had an interview with him before I died. And he told me that the only thing that Africans take serious is low battery. You just observe for an African the way when somebody's battery is running low, that's when you see people getting panicky. What does that tell you? That you become slaves with the phone. So if your child is going to come for a farm camp and you want to let him come with the phone, I don't think I'll allow it.
Okay, we are here to inspire the youth and to encourage them to take up whatever they are learning and go back home to do it. But we also know that their parents, maybe they don't believe in this, they don't want their children to work. What last message do you have for the parents?
Well, if they don't want them to get involved, what do you do with them? Leave them. Because you see, if you are a parent and you have that kind of mentality, then you are creating a monster, and the monster will eat you later. So it's up to you. Yeah, I'm just saying, you won't force a child. You won't force a parent. There are parents who say, oh, my child is going to be seen looking after goats. Oh, that's so sad. He's being put into hard labor, child labor. No, that's not acceptable. Fine, go take your child. But you know, you are creating a monster.
Okay, we would like to welcome everybody to this session this morning. That was On the Farm with Bart Kakoza. I know you might have some questions, put them in the chat. And when we next get him here, because he will be here some other time when we are playing part 2 of his farm tour, he will be able to answer them. Otherwise, I would like to hand over to Mr. Masava and our moderators this morning to take us through today's work. Thank you.
Right, thank you so much, Mr. Dungu. Thank you so much for bringing to us that very wonderful man. What I noted was he moves with the gun. Maybe I need to formulate that question and see what does that gun do on his farm. Is it just for security? But I see a gate there. I think the security is tight, but he goes ahead and moves with the gun everywhere. Maybe you needed to talk about that gun there. Well, today is Thursday and the presenters are already here and a team of teachers is already here. Maybe Mr. Dum, you need to give rights here to these presenters. Mirembe, Stefania, he promised to show us tomatoes this morning. And yeah, if you're going to present, can you put up your hand? You're given rights here. Faith, put up your hand before I hand over to the moderators. And you put up the hand if you're going to present. And Ashraf is not here, Mr. Dungu. That man can read and forget, like he said. I didn't know that he would forget again. And okay, we shall be starting with the Mirembe, then we shall go to Master Hilda as the presenters keep coming in. Others had booked 6:30 and 7. Mr. Dung, do you have that timetable? The moderator this morning is who? Teacher Christine or Mr. Kazimu?
I think Mr. Masaba, we can start. It could be Teacher Christine.
Yes, Teacher Christine, you can take over.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Masaba. And thank you so much, Mr. Dungu, for this opportunity. Good morning, everyone. You're most welcome. Without further ado, Mr. Masaba, the presenters going in order?
I beg your pardon, are the presenters what?
Going to be in any order, or we can follow any order like?
Teacher Christine?
Saba, can you hear me?
My network is disturbing here. Yes, I heard that are the presenters, then my network dropped. Were you asking about?
Are they going to be in any particular order?
I don't think. Maybe you can use the order that is there. They are put up.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so let's start with Mirembe Stefania. Mirembe, you're most welcome. Please.
Mr. Dung, maybe we need to warn the presenters. Now they have started playing with the recording button.
Please, presenters, do not start stopping the recording.
Okay, Mirembe, you're most welcome. Please unmute yourself and show us what you have this morning.
Good morning, teachers.
Good morning.
Hello. Today I'm going to show you my garden. I don't have a video, so I'm taking you straight there. Hello? Can you see me? Hello?
Yes, Mirembe.
Yes, Miranda. Can you see me?
We can see you, but it's not very clear. Stephanie, I don't know how it's if maybe just turn your camera. Your camera is flashing on. Maybe you can turn your camera the other way around.
Yeah, I've turned it.
Mirembe, are those tomatoes out or I seem not to be seeing them? The place must be very dark.
I don't know why it's not clear, but right now I'm showing you the bin.
Yeah, we are not seeing.
Mirembe, it's not clear. Maybe Mr. Masaba. Maybe we give another. Let's maybe remember you can come and I think you'll present like at 7 when it's a bit brighter because right now it's still dark.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
Stephanie, we will call you after because it's not clear. Okay. So for now, Mercy, are you ready?
Yes, teacher, but my battery is low.
So what should we do?
I think you can proceed it to around 7 because it is 2%.
Gabriela.
Mercy has said booking at what time? Now we had given out 7. Mercy, can I have that video played from here? You answer a few questions, then you go, or it will not sustain.
Okay.
Okay. Teacher Christine, there is Gabby. Gabby was to present her Arabic project yesterday, but she's saying her network was not good. I've requested her to register again, but we are giving him chance after Mercy, such that she can present, then she goes back to update that form.
Okay.
She was supposed to present yesterday. Gabby, you can put up your hand such that you come next after Faith.
Okay, so is Faith sending? Okay, yes, Faith. Faith, I can see your hand is up.
Now Faith had this video and I'm going to play it. It is about cowpeas. She has just planted them, so you have to look very careful, otherwise the soil may seem to have swallowed them.
We have not watered. Good evening. This is my garden. As you can see, it is dry. We have not watered the plants, or I have not watered my cowpeas. So we have planted some more cowpeas in the same garden, and this is how my family or my parents fenced for me the garden. So this is the fence. They just raised it a little bit to prevent us, the children, or our dog from entering the garden. So mainly I would like to talk about how the seeds of the peas or the cowpeas germinate. So I've planted these peas randomly in my garden. You can see them. If I am to plant row by column, it will take me like 1 week. I had to plant it like this because it is a family garden. It is not a big piece of land. So this is how my peas germinate. Let me show you one. When you plant these cowpeas in the garden, most people call the seeds young pods. So when you plant them, this is how it germinates. Let me show you. Here, let me give you an example. Here, the young pod. Good evening. This is my garden. As you can see, it is dry. We have not watered.
I think the video was going to repeat. She has some cowpeas. You can see she had not watered them like she had said. And she has planted them in the compound. And maybe if a person has a question for her, I don't know if she's still here. She has already moved out because of her battery, but she said she will be coming back. And she talked about this video. She also wanted to show us live that garden. Maybe we should get to Gabriela and we see the next presenter.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, please.
Yeah, teacher, my battery went off. I had to take it.
Okay, we shall get back to you when you stabilize, maybe at 7. You should get some small power that you come and defend your video.
Okay.
Okay, let's get to Gabby. Gabby, are you set?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you can take one.
Yes, sorry for that interruption. I was showing the rabbits. They are there. There are 5 of them. And this one is a female. Also, this one is a female. This one is a female, and this one is a female too. So the male is here. This one is the male. So today I'm going to clean the house because it's really dirty the other side. And this morning I'm going to get them feeds, and I give them, and I'm going to get their feeds from a garden nearby, which is here. So in this garden that my mom had put some maize, so I put in some dodo also to grow for the rabbits. Most of it has been plucked, but some is still there. So pick it. See ya. Pick them. Please. So far what I've picked like this is enough for the down rabbits. You see, they are very hungry. There they are. So let me go back and pick for the ones. So also these that are fixed. Let's give it to the upper ones. It's not advisable to push these feet down like this. You have to suspend them up here. And if that should be possible. Can you see any? Here they are. Suspend them up and they are eating. So currently, I've joined the female rabbits, the 4 of them. I had 4 female rabbits and 2 male rabbits. So I got the male rabbit, which was down, and I joined it with this one.
I don't know whether we still have her. Gabby? Teacher Christine, are you still seeing her video?
I think we have lost. I think Gabby, we can't hear you.
Should have been network and maybe we wait.
Okay. Ian, your hand is up.
She's back here, I can see, and maybe she has put a good...
I'm back. So
okay.
It's here.
Gabby, inside was dark, but at least we can now see very well. Maybe you can try to explain to us more under that light. Yeah.
So this is a female rabbit.
Yes.
How do you know a rabbit is male and how do you know a rabbit is a female? Hold it. You check around down here. And you see some red testes. This is not allowing to show you, but the male one has 2 testes down, while the female one, you'll find it with only like breasts for feeding its young ones.
Gabby, we didn't see the tests. Can't you make it allow us to see? Is it not possible? You make it allow. I don't know what you'll do. You pull and we see the test you were showing us and it didn't allow, you just stop.
I beg your pardon?
You were trying to show us how do we check if it is a female, and where you were showing us it didn't allow, and you also stopped like that. Can't you make it allow such that we see?
Okay. Like those red things by the side. Are you seeing them?
Yeah, it's okay. Yes, it's okay.
So
you said a female has how many?
It doesn't have. Let me bring and show you.
Okay, Karen.
For a female, when you check, it doesn't have. Well, for it, you have to like check on its stomach and see if there are some nipples. This one has a lot of fur, so you can't see. Can you see them?
Maybe try to blow again. But still that one has a lot of fur still, but we've got the sharp difference, we've got it.
Let me get down and try. They have very sharp claws, so you have to be very careful when you carry them. Like those ones there, are you seeing them?
Yes.
Like some turtles. You've seen them?
Yes.
Okay, that's the female. I'll come back like at around 10. I'll come back like around 10 and check if they still have the feeds. And I go back and pick more and add them. Thank you for visiting my rabbit garden. Any questions?
This is Elizabeth, teacher Elizabeth presentation. It's a very wonderful project. I wanted you to tell the rest of the members, what type of rabbits are you rearing? And what management practices are you doing other than feeding them and cleaning? What other management practices are you doing? Do you do any medication? Have you got any challenges of disease? And how are you coping with all that? Thank you.
Yes, about the practices, apart from feeding and cleaning, when I had just got them, I didn't have like the pellets. So I used to feed them on these greens, nakati, cassava. And unfortunately, I found out that cassava makes them feel bloated. So when they get bloated, they have no way, like they pass the air out, so they can die. So it's not advisable to give cassava to your rabbits. And the practices that I do is deworming. I deworm them because like they can have some worms inside their stomach. So at least they can pass those ones throughout their droppings. And that's it. What was her first question?
What type of rabbits are you rearing?
Oh, yes, I have one white one, which is called the Californian rabbit. I also have about 3 brown ones, which are the local ones. And then I have a black and white one, which is, I think, New Zealand white or something like that. Yes, those are the colors I have: white and brown, black and white, black. Any other question? Any other questions?
Gabby, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, you talked about bloating when you could give this other kind of feed. How do you handle now bloating when does it just have to die, or there is something you do if you realize it is not bringing out to the air?
Yes, when you see that it's a little bloated, first of all, it will stop eating. It will not eat while others are eating. It will isolate itself the other side. So such we can give it like water, like to keep drinking water to make the starch a little somehow dissolved so that it does not get like too much bloated. Yes, that can save the rabbit.
Maybe before you answer my question, if someone does not know what is bloating, Khan is asking what is bloating. Maybe you start from there.
Okay, bloating is when a rabbit, when it eats a lot of starch, so starch becomes heavy and a rabbit does not gas. So the stomach will swell and then it will get full of air. That is bloating.
Maybe, Patrick, you should come and try to talk about this bloating here. In goats, I know bloating when it happens. There is this other farm practice they used to teach us in school that you bring the cannula, and which one is that? Then you bring it somewhere and that hair comes out. Patrick, did I bring it well? Maybe you need to talk about it.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Masava. What you said is very right. A trocar and cannula can be used to release the gas that has been trapped in the rumen. But for a student like Gabby, it may not be easy. You may need a veterinary doctor to help you because you might pierce the wrong area. Or else you first go for training and somebody shows you how to do it, but it is a very viable method of treating bloat.
Okay. Yes, someone was asking the type of food I give them. In the morning, I give them the greens twice. Then in the afternoon and the evening, I have some pellets there at home. So I give them some pellets in the afternoon and in the evening there. But these rabbits eat and eat and eat. So you have to keep on checking to see if they have finished, if they have not yet finished, and you keep putting. And sometimes you have to limit them because you can really spend a lot of money buying pellets. So that's why I also opted to giving them these greens in the morning.
All right, thank you so much, Gabby, for showing us your rabbits. And I must say that your rabbits are very healthy. You must be giving them very good care, and we must thank you for that. So we'll get back to you someday, but we want you to fill the blog with those rabbits. You can fill it with the feeds they eat. You can fill it with any topic around that rabbits. And before I drop, I saw the hand for Elizabeth. Say, Elizabeth,
Yes.
did you want to add something there?
Yes, Teacher Masaba, thank you so much. Maybe Gabriela, you can plant sukuma wiki. It grows very easily and with less management. They feed so well on sukuma wiki, and it's kind of heavy, so it fills them up. Compared to dodo and pellets, can be expensive. So get sukuma wiki and throw around the garden just for them to feed on. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you too.
All right, thank you so much.
I also have a question for Gabby today.
Yes, you can go on.
I have two questions. One is that I would like her to tell me the relationship or between the piggery rabbit poultry relationship. I mean, can this be on the same farm and they interact without one having to become a problem to the other? Because some species don't want to live together on the same farm. So, but can these live together? Because I'm finding somewhere a problem in starting up rabbits because of having piggery. Some people say that because of piggery at home, it stops the kind of the reproduction in the female rabbits. When you bring the female, it becomes infertile because of the urine kind. So is that the problem? Then another thing will be if you were to do rabbits and you want to do it in a modern way, you can't have greens and and you want to be feeding them pellets. What will be the ratio of feeds to rabbits to profit level, as in knowing that the rabbit, one rabbit eats this kind of food in a day, and how much does it cost? If it eats 1 kilogram a day, how much does it cost?
Okay. For his first question, I'm not sure. I've not yet heard of such cases, piggery and rabbits, but any animal can live with the other as long as they understand each other well. And I've not yet heard of that, so I'm not sure about the keeping of piggery together with rabbits. Then the second question was, okay. I beg your pardon for the second question.
Gabby, the question was, how much pellets would you give them? Do you measure them in kilograms, and how do they cost? I think that was the question around pellets.
Okay, in the afternoon, I use a Tampeco cup to measure their pellets, a Tampeco cup. So in the afternoon, I give them three. I give the upper ones 3 Tampecos, then the down ones, I give them 2 Tampecos because there are 2 rabbits and the upper ones are like 5 rabbits. And then in the evening, I reduce a bit and then I give them 2 Tampecos because those pellets are expensive. They're not easy to get. So you have to minimize the food you give them.
May you please show us the Tampeco cups?
Sharon, was that a question? Okay, I think, Gabriela, you have exhausted all the questions here. We must thank you for presenting and showing us your project. I think you'll be stopping here for now. And we encourage you to come back to the meeting and follow what your friends will be showing us. Thank you.
You're breaking.
Mr. Masako, I don't know whether it's on my end. We can't hear you.
Mr. Masaba's line is very bad. Can we take over from the studios and we go to another person?
Maybe, Mr. Dungu, somebody's asking whether it's possible to have 2 male rabbits in the same place. It is possible, however, it's not advisable. It's what I can say. It's always advisable to have 1 male rabbit at a time per batch. Of course, they are changed to avoid inbreeding. Every time there is a new generation of young ones coming to adulthood, it is good to change the male and get a new one. It's advisable to have 1 male one. Yeah, that was somebody asking.
Teacher Elizabeth, thank you. Maybe you can also talk about pellets because Neil is insisting on what pellets are. So maybe you can give us a brief description of what they are. Thank you.
Pellets are mainly, it is food that has been concentrated and broken into small pieces, and those pieces are called pellets. Most times these pellets are packed with all the nutrients an animal may require. They are being used so much of late because sometimes when you use the powder feeds like bran, it chokes the animals. So farmers are opting out for pellets because they are solid and non-powdery, and they're easier to nibble than the powdery feeds like the bran. So it is so common, especially it's becoming common in poultry, but I didn't know rabbits feed on pellets as well, but I mean, it's a growing trend, pellets. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Gabia said they look like bagia. They look like bagia. They concentrate the bran, and then they break it up into small pieces like bagia. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Teacher Elizabeth. And thank you, Gabby, for sharing with us. Mr. Masawa, you seem to be back. Do you have another video?
Yeah, thank you so much. I just wanted to test and see if I can be heard now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, and you're much better.
Okay, now I realized my laptop maybe does not work well with internet in the morning, but I switched to the phone and it's giving me good experience here. Okay, Gabby, we thank you for that session you took us. We must appreciate you showed us your rabbits and we've learned a lot from the rabbits. I wanted to find out from Mase. Mase, may you open your microphone? Are you going to show us live because I've switched off my laptop? Are you showing us live such that we can give you a chance, or you wanted to show us that video you sent? Mase? But the next presenter here, if it is not Mase, we are going to have Marisha Ashraf, and Marisha Ashraf has been here wanting to present from the other day, but he kept coming on late. But this time round, I think we shall give him a chance a bit early, such that he can show us his farm. Mase, I want to hear from you. May you open your microphone? And
Yes.
we had, are you going to show us live?
No, on the video that you had. Yeah.
Yes, I have that video. Okay, I'll be playing that video.
Yes.
You have to give me some rights in the laptop. I'll put up my hand here in the laptop, and you'll give me some rights such that I play. But before we go to that, and before we go to Ashraf, Mirembe Stefania was our first presenter, but while he was showing us tomatoes, the place was dark. So we requested that when the place becomes clear, he will take us back. Maybe, Mirembe, may you first show us if the camera is now visible, and we shall get back to you. Then Ashraf one here.
Okay, teacher. I think it's now clear. I'll show you my garden, but I'll start with the beans and the maize. Can you see me?
Teacher Martha, you can spot lost lights.
Can I speak later when I'm not a co-host?
Gabby, can you spotlight it?
Hello?
Mirembe, you seem to be not talking to us. You're not talking to us.
Okay, this is my bean garden. We planted them together with the maize, as you can see here. We planted maize in each hole. It's growing, as you can see. Then apart from that, here are also more beans. As you can see.
There is
Then
that
apart
laptop.
from that, hello?
Yes, you can go on. I was talking to Mr. Dungu.
Apart from that, I also have some tomatoes, but we harvested most of them. Although here are still some that are still growing. Here are some that are still growing. They're growing up, but we harvested most of the tomatoes. And this is the only tree that is still growing. And we are also still harvesting them. Then we also have some ginger here that I also planted. Yes, that's mainly what I have in my garden. I mainly have ginger, beans, maize, and tomatoes. Any questions? Hello?
Okay, thank you so much for your garden. At least we've seen the tomatoes. Let's have the questions. If you have a question you want to ask, may you put it up and the Yes, as we wait for the questions to come in, maybe the quickest question I can ask you is, I have not seen you, I've not heard you talk about the care of these tomatoes. How do you care about them? Do you give them some fertilizers? And if there's pests that, how do you avoid, how do you manage that? I can see you had a very good, you had a very good yield. How do you manage them such that you can come up with that kind of yield?
Well, the tomatoes were very difficult. We couldn't find the right, like, the right medicine to spray on them. A lot, like some of them became sick, but we were still able to harvest most of them. Yeah, it was, we watered them and they grew. They grew despite all the diseases. Okay, there weren't so many, but there had some diseases that attacked them, so we sprayed them. Then also here we don't have pests, like mainly we don't have pests, caterpillars or what. No, we don't deal with any pests. Then yeah, we also weeded the garden. As you can see right now, the weeds are just growing again. Yeah, we don't water them because it rains a lot here. Even last night it had rained. Yes, then as you can see here, like there are yellow leaves growing on the beans, so we shall pluck them off, like the yellow leaves, because I don't think they are important. Yeah, that's mainly what I can say. And we don't, we like rarely spray our garden. We don't deal with diseases like a lot here. Maybe here we have leaves, like dry leaves, because we have trees like avocado and mango trees, as you can see up there. We have trees here, so maybe that they keep pouring leaves down. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Mercy Hilda, I wanted to ask you.
Yes.
For how long have you planted the beans? And something else, doesn't the shade affect your plants? Because as far as agriculture says to me, is that a plant requires full exposure to the light for better photosynthesis. So aren't the trees affecting your plants? And how old are these? How old are the beans at the moment? And maybe something else I can see is that, I don't know, did you till your garden before you planted? By tilling, I mean bakuita kabale, or to break the soil loose and make it a fine seed bed. Did you do that before planting? Thank you.
Yeah, first of all, yes, the shade affects my plants. At first, I thought we decided like to cut most of the branches, although like some of them are getting affected, but they are still growing. And like yes, we have some beans in the shed, but we also have some that are outside here, like these ones. These ones have nothing above them. Although the part that has the shade, we reduce the branches of the tree and we let like sunlight come to them. Then yes, like before I planted the beans and the maize, I first had to dig this whole area because there was grass and different stuff. So I had to first dig. Then these beans, we planted them like 3 weeks ago. The beans and the maize, we planted them like 3 weeks ago, like 3.5 there. I think like right now is the 4th week. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for showing us. Maybe we shall stop you around there, and we shall keep visiting your garden. Every other time you will invite us to your garden. We must thank you. Maybe you should stop now sharing the video, and we continue to the next presenter. And I'll be playing Mercy Faith's video here, and it will be so fast because we want to give chance to Ashraf to present. This video was already played, so I'm replaying it such that we can have question.
Good evening. This is my garden. As you can see, it is dry. We have not watered the plants, or I have not. Good evening. This is my garden. As you can see, it is dry. We have not watered the plants, or I have not watered my cowpeas. So we have planted some more cowpeas in the same garden, and this is how my family or my parents fenced for me the garden. So this is the fence. They just raised it a little bit to prevent us, the children, or our dog from entering in the garden. So mainly I would like to talk about how the seeds of the peas or the cowpeas germinate. So I've planted these peas randomly in my garden. You can see them. If I am to plant row by column, it will take me like 1 week. I had to plant it like this because it is a family garden. It is not a big piece of land. So this is how my peas germinate. Let me show you one. When you plant these cowpeas in the garden, most people call the seeds young pods. So when you plant them, this is how it germinates. Let me show you. Here, let me give you an example. Here, the young pod. Good evening. This is my garden. As you can see, it is dry. We have not watered.
Okay, that was basically her video. And she was trying to show us her cowpeas. And like you can see, she had not watered them. And maybe if someone has a question for her or maybe a piece of advice, you can bring it as we prepare to switch to Ashraf. Mercy, do you want to say something more about that video as we wait for questions? Maybe you can go on.
Yes, teacher. So my cowpeas are really good. I've not used any fertilizer. I like to bring them up. So, for example, like if I'm to show you the video now, it has grown very healthy. but it is scattered in the garden. So let me say, like, it has not rained for like 2 weeks. It rained yesterday, and today the plants are really nice. So do you have any question?
The question is in the chat, and the question is, Mirembe, your garden looks overspaced, like the plant biomosis is so no. Now, your garden looks to be so spaced. Maybe, Teacher Patrick, is it possible for you to tell her directly, or I read it from the chat here? Maybe your network is not good. I would advise that you adapt planting your beans in rows and spacing of 10 centimeters between plants and 30 centimeters between two rows. Now, there is a very good quick advice that is in the chat here. I don't want to read it for you. You'll reach there and you read it for yourself. Mercy, have you heard?
Yes.
And the space is full of stones. Someone is also having that observation.
No,
maybe.
sir. Okay. They were building the house, so the stones remained from there. So they had to put it here to prevent, okay, like us from stepping in the garden.
Okay, but at least there are stones there. Someone has made that very good observation. So, and like you said, maybe they were constructing the house. Why is the land dry?
Yeah.
Someone is saying the land is so dry, maybe.
Okay, teacher, it has not rained. When I planted this of mine, it has not rained for like 2 weeks, so we had no water in the tanks to water them. And it rained like yesterday and last week. So that's why the land is dry.
Thank you so much, Marce, for the courage. There was a very good piece you had written in the comment section. Do you remember writing something in the comment while you were applying? You wrote about 3 sentences. Is that so?
Yeah.
Could you maybe remind us of 1 or 2? Is it possible, or you've forgotten? I think you were thanking the holistic learning platform for coming up with this. Can you mention it, or you've forgotten?
Yeah, I really want to thank them because, teacher, it is my first year. First of all, I've not heard of such a nice, farm, like a project. So it's my first year to join, and it's my first time to participate. It is really a good project, and it has really improved my presentation. Okay, according to me, in my life, I've not presented. So, yeah, I really want to thank the holistic learning platform for this.
All right, thank you so much. I'll be copying that extract. I'll extract what you had written. It was a very good piece, such that maybe we can post it in all classes so that people can see that you're very excited. You were thanking Holistic for giving you opportunity to present, and you were also telling us that now your presentation skills have improved and you can now present anywhere. Was that so?
Yeah, so teacher, I'd like to ask you a question.
Yes,
is this like this project, is it going to continue up to December? So I would like to present my farm again in the village, because now I'm in the town. The garden is very small, so we have more plants in the village.
Okay. Yes, the quickest answer will come from Mr. Dungu, and is coming back, so you stay online. But what I could tell you is that this project, for you call it a project, but it's a program, and it will be running throughout December, and maybe will be corrected, but you can stay online. That question has been noted.
Okay, sir.
We thank you for presenting. I had to replay this video several times because you really wanted to present. We must thank you, and we'll be switching to the next presenter, and that will be Ashraf. You'll take us. Maybe Teacher Martha, you can now moderate. Ashraf is here. He has a project he has wanted to show us from last week. So maybe you can start.
you so much, Mr. Masawa. Thank you so much, Mercy, for sharing with us this morning. Okay, we can have Ashraf. Ashraf, are you taking us live to your farm?
Yes, I am taking you live.
Okay, please do.
Okay, let me open my camera. Actually, good morning to everyone here. It's been a colorful morning and it is really colorful. So, well. Let me first of all ask of the time I have to use because I want to be conscious of time. So how much time do you give me to present? Because I have a big project and I don't
Ashraf,
know. So you
no,
should give
Ashraf,
me time such that I know how to limit myself.
Okay, Ashraf, I thought you had a small farm, but I've realized that farm is very big enough. It can take us the whole day. Unfortunately, we are left with only 4 minutes to close this session. And in the 4 minutes, Mr. Dung has to come and close it. So maybe you can summarize in the next 2 minutes. Then we shall give you another time to present for a bigger time.
Mr. Masaba, let's give him
God.
5 minutes for us something, and then he will show them.
Okay. Ashraf, have you heard? You have been added 3 minutes to make it 5.
Yeah, I've had 5 minutes. So thank you very much. I hope I'm audible enough so that you can hear me. So what I'm going to do, I am just going to hint on the 2 projects that I have and give my future view of what I have. Therefore, I will begin with this is Pigare. Yeah, it has a lot that you have to learn from it and you should look forward for it. It is a reason structure, one for protection from the dangerous dogs that roam around. So that's why it is a reason. It is a reason structure. You see, I put on ladders when I want to climb there, and when I am going, I pull them off. That is one project. So this figure, probably I will show you even inside, such that you see that the pigs are there. Those 3 are males, so they are having their morning eat, and these two are females. Yeah, those 2 are females. So I divided this structure into 2, keeping males and females alone. Because when you keep males and females at the same time, later, at the time of mating, they might refuse to mate together because they'll be feeling the sister and brotherhood. So when you separate them, at least when you bring one male to the other, it will be feeling a new man in the house. So it will allow. That is Pigare. We shall learn from it when I have enough time. Then the next one, manure from the Pigare, I put it here. This is where I put my manure from the Pigare. Let us say that this is my compost pit. I put it there and cover it for some time. And later I transfer it to my Rusuku garden, banana plantation. That is my banana plantation. This is one part of it, but the bigger one is up here. Yeah, the banana plantation is older. It is older than the Pigare unit. But since I got the Pigare and manure now is got, so I have now even the Rusuku looking very nice, and I eat matoke. But it's just that this time in Mbarara, the seasons of matoke have declined. So they are, even when you get them, they are expensive. But in the time of ripening of matoke, you people should come. I give you some toke here, some bunch. So you have a lot to learn about matoke. You have a lot to learn about piggery and how to use the piggery support Rusuku garden, and all of them working together to give you to actually have a self-sustaining environment. Therefore, if I don't want to go beyond the time given to me, let me rest my case from here. We shall learn more if time is given to me. Thank you.
Okay, do we have some questions?
Mr. Masava, Teacher Mata.
Do we have any questions for Ashraf?
I would like to request Ashraf to plan one project each day or one unit each day. So he books different days for different projects so that we understand how to do things in each unit. So Ashraf, you could plan each day to tell us something about a unit, but teach us how to do or how you do things.
Okay. That is well understood.
Saying something as well, and maybe Ashraf, when you plan each project at a time, maybe you can talk more on how we can exchange knowledge to better the initiative of getting into this farming thing. Yeah, thank you.
Elizabeth, we weren't able to get you clearly. There was
I was saying to Ashraf that
Actually,
when
as
he...
the questions are coming, some photos of the project as the questions are coming in.
Take the plate. I was saying to Ashraf that when he plans a project at a time and he comes back to present, we can share more knowledge and exchange ideas on how to better our projects. Yeah, it's what I was saying. Otherwise, thank you so much for being a passionate fan. Was my...
okay. Thank you so much, Teacher Elizabeth, for that. Maybe we over to you, Mr. Dungu. And thank you so much, Ashraf, for sharing with us. I hope you picked those few advice that was given to you.
Yes, I have. Thank you.
Mr. Dungu, over to you.
I think, Teacher Martha, we need to be winding up. I would like to thank everybody who has been able to attend today. Thank you, presenters. I also just want to remind everyone that at the end of the day, we also want to look for the best farmer, the person who explains to us good things, the person who shows us around their work, and the person who is actively engaged in their farm units, not only talking about it, but working closely with the projects. So with that, I want to wish you the best today, and we hope to catch up tomorrow, 6 a.m. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye-bye. Bye. See you next time.